Are you considering moving to Jupiter, Florida in 2021 or even 2022? This video is all about my pros and cons of moving here to Jupiter, Florida that I wish I knew before I moved here. Hopefully this video will help you out, so let's get started on the video. First off, I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm going to keep this short and sweet for you. My name is David Rogers. I'm a licensed real estate broker here in Jupiter, Florida. And like all my videos, these videos are about honesty and giving you knowledge and value to help you make a better decision if moving to Jupiter, Florida or anywhere is going to be right for you. If you like this video, please hit the like button, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, tap on that little bell notification, and leave comments of the best part of the video that was informative for you. And like anything else, my description and information how to get a hold of me will be in the description below and at the end of the video. Now let's get started with the video. Pros to moving here in Jupiter, Florida for a lot of residents that move here is the healthcare system for people is actually very good. I'm not going to get into too much details about that because everybody has their own personal opinion. But overall, the healthcare system here when it comes to the hospitals, the specialists, and those items is very good here in Jupiter, Florida. You can definitely look it up yourself, do your own research. Don't take my opinion. This is just what I hear from residents that have moved here specifically for the healthcare reasons and what it offers in Jupiter, Florida. Another advantage of moving to Jupiter, Florida or anywhere in Florida, if you're going to make this your primary residence or primary home, we have a lot of different tax exemptions that you can apply for. The number one exemption that we have that I think that sets us apart from a lot of other states is your homestead tax, which basically goes around to this. If you live in a home, and let's say the value is $300,000. Now let's say next year the value goes up through the roof to $400,000. A lot of you that live in other states know exactly the answer in your state, but here in Florida, if you file for your homestead exemption, the max it can increase is actually 3%. So to make the numbers simple for you, if the house was valued at $300,000 last year, the max you'll be taxed on would be $309,000, which is 3% of $300,000 is $9,000. So the max, the value or the taxable value will be is $309,000. But again, the actual amount of your taxes will not increase more than 3% year over year. So if you were paying $3,000 a year, the max you would pay next year would be $3,090, and so on every year after. There's a lot of other exemptions you get when you make Florida your primary residence or you have your primary home here. You have tax exemptions for veterans, the legally blind, widowers, and a few others. Now in the description below this video, I will have a link to the state of Florida so you can actually review some of the other tax exemptions to see how it would benefit you and help out with your finances if you decide to move to Florida, Jupiter, Florida, or anywhere else in Florida. And again, that's one of the benefits and pros to moving to Jupiter or Florida in general. Another pro to moving to Jupiter, Florida is what South Florida has to offer compared to other states up north. We have year-round weather to go fishing, boating, golfing, doing outdoor stuff that other states really just can't do year-round. There's tons of golf courses from public to private golf courses. You have nature areas like Riverbend Park, Jonathan Dickinson State Park. There's a lot of areas in Jupiter and very close to Jupiter to explore. I mean, we have 5 miles of beaches, 22 miles of intercoastal waterways, which is, again, one of the reasons I personally moved here was because the boating and fishing and just the outdoors life is just phenomenal compared to some other areas in Florida. You're so close to the Gulf Stream. If you like to go fishing, you're minutes from the Gulf Stream. And I'm not going to say minutes, but the Gulf Stream comes very close to land here in Jupiter, Florida. And if you ever get to go fishing here, reach out to a local charter guide and you'll find out how much better the fishing is here. The only place I think is better in most cases is going to be the Florida Keys or the Bahamas, which I haven't been to the Bahamas in a long time. I would love to go again this year, but the outdoor activities here in Jupiter, Florida, and northern Palm Beach County in general is phenomenal. I'll say that again, phenomenal. But, you know, it's a great area to live. If you like the outdoors and you don't mind the heat and the humidity, of course, during the summertime, you're going to have to deal with it. So get used to it. Get outside, enjoy yourself. Get a bicycle if you can get a bicycle. Do some skateboarding, rollerblading, jogging, running, whatever you like to do. The outdoor and recreational facilities and what we have to offer here in Jupiter, Florida is, to me, one of the greatest things about this area. One of the other pros and attractions to living here in Jupiter, Florida is the lack of traffic, what I consider to be traffic personally, compared to living in Fort Lauderdale and dealing with the Miami, Florida traffic, Fort Lauderdale traffic. If you look on a map, you'll notice that we have something very unique here in Jupiter, Florida. If you're on Indiantown Road, you'll find that both the Florida Turnpike and I-95 are like this, next to each other. It's the only place in the state of Florida, really on the East Coast, because you don't have I-95 on the west coast of Florida. It is the closest spot where the Turnpike and I-95 connect, where you can get on either highway or road system if you want to go north or south. So it does make it convenient for people that do a lot of traveling like me. I'm back and forth to Fort Lauderdale, Martin County, you know, showing properties, of course, but traffic in general here is very mellow compared to nearby West Palm Beach, Boynton Beach, Delray Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Lake Worth, you name it. Traffic is very light and mellow here, and it is a major attraction to living in Jupiter, Florida. Now, another pro to living in Jupiter, Florida, just like you're going to hear on a lot of other videos in different towns and different cities, is they always talk about their restaurants, their local eateries. I'm not going to be any different. Jupiter, Florida has some of the best eateries and local restaurants in the area. To me, better than when I lived down at Fort Lauderdale, just to be honest with you. Now, I love food. Now, I have also lost like 14, 15 pounds in the last 3.5, 4 months, just cutting back on the foods I eat. One of my favorite places to go is Guacamole's in the Jupiter Farms area, which is on Indiantown Road, west of the Florida Turnpike and I-95. They have some of the best chips and salsa that I've ever had. The rest of their food is awesome as well. Definitely check them out if you're visiting the area. Another place that we love to go to dinner once, twice a month has to be Carmine's Coal-Fired Pizza here in Jupiter, Florida. Now, they serve more than just pizza. They have great steaks, great pastas. It's a great atmosphere. It's located near the heart of Abacoa off of Military Road. But again, it's called Carmine's Coal-Fired Pizza. Check them out if you're in town. Now, one of the other pros to living in Jupiter, Florida is the safety or crime and safety or lack of crime. We've gotten spoiled living here. I'm constantly forgetting to lock my door to my truck. I leave the garage door wide open to our place all the time. Sometimes I forget about it till the next morning. Crime here is so low. I'm not saying crime doesn't exist. Maybe you have some petty crime, like some car break-ins, maybe closer to the highways. But in general, this is a very, very safe area to live in. So if you're looking for a safe environment to raise your family and your kids, you definitely should consider Jupiter, Florida. Now, let's get to why I moved to Jupiter, Florida, and that has to be because of boating. And the outdoors. Now, I'm an avid boater. That's a lie. I don't have time to go boating all the time, but we do. One of the reasons I personally wanted to move to Jupiter, among other reasons, was the boating lifestyle in Jupiter, Florida. The water here is just beautiful. You'll see videos and pictures from people all the time. And sometimes you wonder, are those photos or videos edited? No, it's not. The water's just so nice here. It's almost like you're in the Bahamas, you're in the Florida Keys. The fishing is phenomenal here. If you just want to go for a day cruise, or booze cruise as people call it, I don't drink on my boat, so I don't do booze cruises. But the water and the boating here is phenomenal. The one good thing we have here, or don't have, which is actually a pro, is we don't have all the cruise ships and the freighters like they do in Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and Miami. So to me, I think the water here is going to stay nice for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, maybe longer, because we don't have all the commercialized portion of the big boats in our area. So if you're into boating, fishing, if you just want to go kayaking, if you want to go take your paddleboard out, sorry, you know, honestly, Jupiter, Florida has to be a place you need to consider if you want to move somewhere where the water and going out is just phenomenal. Now let's get into the cons of living in Jupiter, Florida. Number one con of living in Jupiter, Florida is going to be lack of inventory for new residents moving to Jupiter, Florida. If you're looking to buy a home or rent a home, inventory, even during a normal market, and not in the market that we're in as of May 12, 2021, there's always less inventory in general in this area. So be prepared that houses go like that. That is a con for most residents because they're not used to a crazy market. And again, during a regular market, houses go like that. So be prepared. Another part to the con of living in Jupiter, Florida is that our average prices here for real estate or homes for sale is 80% higher than the average in Florida. Now, hold your horses, don't freak out. That's Florida in general. Now, compared to big cities like Fort Lauderdale, Miami, I lived in Fort Lauderdale. To me, the prices here, when you compare apples to apples, honestly, there's not much difference. That's me personally, and I'm comparing apples to apples, not this house versus this house. I'm comparing this house versus this house on the same size lot, same similar neighborhood, same water lot or oceanfront lot. Comparing apples to apples, Jupiter is so darn close that I don't think it's higher than the average of the big cities. Now, compared to Okeechobee or a smaller town, of course, Jupiter is going to be very expensive. So if you're moving from another area, like a small town up north, I hope you understand that when you move here, you've done your research on home prices. Rentals are expensive, housing's expensive. Now, when it comes to the cons about housing prices living here in Jupiter, Florida, you have to understand, me personally, I think you're living in as close to paradise for a city on the east coast of Florida. So you're paying a higher price to live here. That's not really a con. It's a con if you're in the lower income bracket. Unfortunately, if you're in the higher income bracket, people move here because of how nice it is. Now keep in mind, this is not really a con about living in Jupiter, Florida. Jupiter, Florida is Jupiter, Florida for a reason. It's one of the nicest areas to live in. To me, it's as close to living in a paradise city compared to other areas like Fort Lauderdale and Miami, which personally Miami, I hate. I don't know how people live there, but people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but it's the truth. Jupiter is so quiet. It's such a nice place to live that, yeah, the prices are high, and that's going to be a con for other people moving from other states. But you got to understand, you're living in an area that people want to be in, so of course prices are going to go up. Now, another con to living here, now this goes back to the price of real estate and prices in general real estate, is that if you have a trailer, an RV, a boat trailer, and you cannot keep the items or your toys on your own property, storage is expensive in Jupiter, Florida. I can tell you from firsthand, I pay $670 some odd a month to keep my boat on an outdoor dry rack, which it is right on the intercoastal, which happens to be the cheapest price I could find for a 29-foot center console. I then pay additional money to keep my trailer out in Palm Beach Country Estates for another $250. I'm just throwing money out the window every single month because I can't have the boat and everything on my own property. So take that in consideration. If you're coming down here and you have an RV, a boat, or a trailer, calculate that into your expenses. Or if you're going to buy a house that has the option that you can keep it on the property. Most communities allow it, but then it comes down to the actual size of the property. So if you move to like Jupiter Farms or Palm Beach Country Estates, even though Palm Beach Country Estates is not part of Jupiter, those are all acre plus lots. Well, no big deal, put whatever you want on the property. But a lot of the residential communities within Jupiter, you don't have the option to keep your boat and RV parked on the property. So that is a con when it comes to living in Jupiter, but that comes with the territory of, you know, it is what it is. So if you're a boater, keep your boat at marina if you can afford it. If not, find a friend where you can keep it on their property and just trailer it back and forth to the boat ramps. Now, another con, I think, to living in Florida in general, but especially in Jupiter, Florida, and northern Palm Beach County, there's times that I pay 40 to 50 cents more per gallon of gas than I would in other parts of southern Palm Beach, Broward County, where I used to live at. So a lot of times when I drive back and forth to the Fort Lauderdale market, there's a couple gas stations that I go to that I know are going to be 30, 40 cents cheaper, sometimes 50 cents cheaper than local gas here in Jupiter, Florida. So that is a con. If you do a lot of driving, that's a problem. If you never drive, then the gas prices are not going to be a con to you like they are to me and other people. If you happen to watch this entire video to its end, thank you for taking the time to watch this 18-minute video about moving to Jupiter, Florida, and the pros and cons of living in Jupiter, Florida. If you have questions about real estate, please reach out to me anytime. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about living in Jupiter, Florida, or anywhere in Palm Beach County, Florida, and nearby Martin County, Florida, which is Palm City, Hope Sound, Stewart. We look forward to talking to you. Have a great day.